Hi, welcome to Movie Review Mom. I'm here to give you the scoop on filmmaking quality and content so that you can make the best decision for you and your family as to whether or not you want to spend time or money or both watching a specific film. And so today, that specific film I'm reviewing is called Double Threat. This action comedy is now available on streaming. It's rated PG-13 and is an hour and 32 minutes. My movie review mom grade is a B. Now, keep watching so you know why I gave it a B. I'll give you an overview in a nutshell, and then I'll point out things I liked and didn't like, as well as offer tips for parents, themes worth talking about, funny lines, interesting lines, and even recommendations for other films that are sort of similar that I think you might also like if you like this one. All right, so let's dive in. In a nutshell, with ruthless mobsters on her tail, a young woman with a split personality becomes entangled with a man on a pilgrimage across the country to scatter his dead brother's ashes. The film is directed by Shane Stanley and written by C.J. Wally. So if you want to see an award-winning action movie, you might be a little bit disappointed. However, if you're up for a slapsticky flick with action, humor, and romance, you might get a kick out of this one. I did. So here's the list of things that I really liked about the movie. First of all, Danielle C. Ryan does a great job with impressive action stunts, as well as physically transforming her demeanor to show two different personalities. She's the star, the character with the split personalities. And I think this might be the very first time I'd ever seen her in anything, certainly in a feature film. And I thought, again, she did a fantastic job. Matthew Lawrence has been in the business for a long time, getting his start with his brothers in a popular TV show called Brotherly Love. I never watched it, but I don't know. Comment down below. Did you ever see that? I certainly knew who he was and thought he was really cute, growing up. He and Danielle C. Ryan previously starred together in a movie called Mistletoe Mix-Up. So I haven't seen that one either. I should check that out because I liked them together. The action sequences have a lot of silly choreography, but also some pretty cool stunts. They're sometimes pretty realistic and then oftentimes not realistic, but always amusing. So I'm kind of getting tired of the female, beautiful vixen villains that never smudge their makeup and are just, oh, so cool. But Don Olivieri's character, whose name is Ask, actually made me laugh quite a few times, and I really liked her character. When I first saw her, I was like, oh, another one of these. But she was so much more than that. And so I really liked her character. I appreciate the lack of F-bombs. It really is a family-friendly movie with the lack of language. Now, give me just a second. I'll give you more tips for parents in a minute because there is some profanity, but just not F-bombs. Thank you. The title of the movie is actually kind of cute too, given that the female protagonist has a split personality. Get it? Double threat. So there were some things I didn't like or thought could have been handled differently or better. First of all, the villains are pretty lame, although entertaining at times. The storylines don't wrap up with a bow. Instead, there's a cliffhanger that alludes to a sequel. So if you love the movie, you might be really excited to hear that. If you thought the movie was just really cheesy and silly and dumb, then you're probably not going to be interested in the sequel. The plot is pretty ridiculous, so just don't expect much. Just go along for the fun ride and then you'll have fun. Some of the scene transitions jump abruptly with maybe it's, I don't know if it was the writing or the editing or probably both, I guess. Now, some tips for parents are there are a lot of sexual innuendos. Young kids may not catch those. But there is also an unmarried couple that just goes at it with shirts off on a pool table. We see skin, kissing, and some moving hands, enough to know that your young kids shouldn't really be watching that. It's okay for teenagers. The movie is rated PG-13. We also see a topless man and a woman in her bra. They both have impressive abs, by the way. Now, there are people that are murdered, and we do see blood and lots of, violence, and with various weapons, as well as hand to hand. And as I mentioned, there is some profanity, but just not F-bombs. Yay. So the themes that are done well in the movie, I thought, were playing it safe versus going wild for fun. Now, let me jump back to that tips for parents. One of the characters says, "Oh, just go wild. Who cares? Do what you want to do." And I'm seeing that theme in a lot of movies lately, and especially ones geared towards kids. Now, I get it. Someone who's uptight needs to loosen up, but not to dismiss all of your values and your standards and ignore other people and how your actions affect other people. And so, just a heads up for parents on that messaging. Other themes that are good are doing the right thing, which is what one of the characters always says. Different sides to our personalities and identity. You don't have to have a split personality to kind of change your persona, depending on what type of or what group of people you're with, for example. However, another parental tip is don't abandon your values and your standards. And then the last one is wanting approval and respect from others. And the messaging that you can talk to your kids about is, do you do anything to get their approval and respect and friendship? Or at some point, do you say, you know what? I can find other friends who will appreciate my standards. All right. So I always write down funny lines and interesting lines, and I include them on my written review at moviereviewmom.com. So run over there, check those out. I'll share a couple of them with you right now. So one of the funny lines is spoken by Natasha, played by Danielle C. Ryan. And she says, she's talking to this accountant, and how he just does all this paperwork. And she says, well, I don't want to give you spoilers, but anyway, she says to him, "So you killed him with paperwork? That's the best murder ever." Which is funny coming from her because she's all about, punching and kicking and fighting and, hurting people physically. And then later she says, same character, she says, just because someone's wired differently doesn't necessarily mean they're broken. And I thought that was actually a very insightful line. All right, so now before we go, let me leave you with some recommendations for some other films I instantly thought of as I was watching this one. The first one is called The Other Guys. It's a couple of other guys, a couple of cops, and it's very slapsticky and funny and goofy and really well done. I just really got a kick out of that. And then another one that I thought of is Get Smart. Now they're detectives, but and so nobody's a detective in this movie per se, but it's again kind of that slapsticky humor and action that I got a kick out of. And then more recently is a movie that came out on Netflix called Red Notice. And it's got lots of action, some star power, and again, a lot of humor and goofiness, which I loved. So check that one out. As soon as this review is over, I'll queue up the Red Notice review that I filmed just recently so that you can watch that one as well. All right, that's it. I hope that if you watch this, that you're in a fun, punchy mood and that you really enjoy it. Thank you again for your support, and especially for your sweet comments. You all are so encouraging, and I truly appreciate them. I read every comment that's posted, and I reply to every comment that's posted. So thank you again so much. Have a fantastic day, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye for now.